Nearly a third of Social Security beneficiaries age 65 and older depend on the program for 90% or more of their total income. And about half of these adults depend on Social Security benefits for 50% or more of their income. So I would say that most older Americans are not financially prepared for retirement, and this was true even before the recession hit. The problem is that, well, one thing I wanted to point out is that people might not know this, but Social Security was actually never meant to be retirees' sole source of income. It was only meant to supplement their private savings and their pension benefits. But the problem is that many Americans don't save for retirement on their own, and that even those who do don't usually save enough. The other problem is that about 40% of all workers don't have jobs that even offer retirement plans. And about 16% of those who do have jobs that offer retirement plans choose for some reason not to participate. Automatic IRAs are individual retirement accounts for employees whose employers don't offer retirement plans. They don't yet exist, but over the years, several bills have been introduced in Congress that would create them. And President Obama has included the automatic IRA in his 2012 budget. Most proposals for automatic IRAs call for employers with 10 or more employees who don't offer retirement plans to create IRAs for their employees. And employers would take a percentage of workers' pay and deposit it into the IRA accounts. The key component of automatic IRAs is the automatic enrollment. A number of studies have shown that many people don't participate in employer-sponsored retirement plans simply because they never bother to enroll. And what automatic IRA or automatic enrollment does and has been shown to do is to increase participation by making participation the default rather than the opt-in choice. We modeled two scenarios. We looked at a scenario where we assumed relatively low participation rates and a scenario where we assumed higher participation rates. And we find that automatic IRAs can significantly increase retirement plan coverage. Our model predicts that a third of people in our sample would be in jobs that didn't have, weren't offered retirement plans, employer-sponsored retirement plans. And under our high scenario, we find that participation would increase to 70% under or with automatic IRAs. We also find that automatic IRAs can significantly increase retirement incomes. Under the high scenario, 53% of people in our analysis would be better off with or have higher retirement incomes under scenarios with automatic IRAs. And for these people, their average incomes would increase by 11% or about $6,000 per year. Still, I think it's important to recognize that even with automatic IRAs, retirement incomes will remain relatively low for low and moderate wage workers. And that's because the impact of our automatic IRAs is somewhat limited because people without employer-sponsored retirement plans, these workers tend to have lower wages and they tend to have more sporadic or irregular work histories than workers who are in plans, retirement plans offered through their employers. And so even with a relatively high contribution rate, the ability, I think, for low and moderate wage workers to significantly increase their retirement savings is going to be constrained, not only by their low earnings, but by their low incomes. I think there are a number of things that policymakers can do to improve retirement security for older Americans. The first would be to pass legislation for automatic IRAs. It really wouldn't cost businesses or the government much money to institute and create automatic IRAs. The second thing would be to provide more federal funding for training and workforce development programs that will help people get the better jobs, the jobs that are higher paying, that are more likely to offer retirement plans and health benefits. I would also say that policymakers need to think about protecting the income sources that retirees depend on most. Social Security is going to be the most important source of income for low-income retirees, and probably more important than private savings ever will be. And so it's important for policymakers, when they're thinking about reforming Social Security or thinking about ways to increase the solvency of Social Security, they need to keep in mind options that don't harm low-income seniors who depend on the program so much. Finally, policymakers can reform and strengthen the Supplemental Security Income Program, which provides means-tested cash benefits to low-income and poor seniors and people with disabilities. Currently, the asset limits haven't changed since 1972, so it's important to increase the asset limits so that they reflect cost of living, changes in the cost of living, and also to increase the maximum benefit to the poverty threshold so that more seniors will qualify for these benefits.